Good afternoon, Thomas. 3 games back, 3 wins, yet to concede a goal. What's the secret?
I wish I could tell you. No, what's the secret? No secret, I think. I think we've been building on what we have done the whole season in terms of building a team that is consistent and well organized, and we were pretty clear in how we want to do things, and of course we just try to build on that. And of course it also means that something was very important, that we have everybody back. So there was a few injuries before the Corona break, so now everybody's fit and available. But mainly I would say we have been doing some quite we're doing quite well in terms of the performance throughout the year, and we've just been keeping building on that. So but we are pleased. It's a lot about a lot of hard work, and yeah, of course we're confident. We are confident but humble. We know we are facing an unbelievable tough task, another unbelievable tough task on Saturday.
I assume the automatic places are still the aim, and they will remain the aim until it's mathematically impossible. But at what stage do you start to think about the playoffs? Because you do have to mentally prepare yourself for the playoffs, don't you?
Yeah, I think it's a tricky one, honestly, because of course I think I've been the whole season just only talking about the next game and the next training, and of course that's still the aim. When we came back for the Corona and the position we were in, it was nonsense not to talk. 9 games to go. Of course we aim for at least playoffs, and after the good start, of course we aim as high as possible. But as soon as we start to think too much about what if something, or what if something else, then we lose focus and what is the most important thing. So for me, it's about keep winning the next game, keep preparing unbelievable well, and then we take it from there when we either get very close or too far away.
You talk about that focus. To what extent is experience important at this stage of the season? Because a lot of the teams around you, they're more experienced in being up there. Quite a few of them are recent Premier League teams as well. This is relatively new ground for the Brentford players.
Yeah, agree. I think the focus is we are definitely less experienced. No reason to hide that. I think on the flip side, you see an unbelievable hunger, an unbelievable desire in our boys. If you see how they want to run and how they want to compete and how they want to really do everything well, I think that's a massive advantage. Maybe we don't have that much experience in Championship, but on the other flip side, if you look at Henrik Dalsgaard, this is his third season and he's in international. Pontus Jansson, a lot of seasons in the Championship and international. Ethan Pinnock, yes, maybe only his second. He's played in the football leagues for many years. Rico Henry, yeah, maybe his first full season. David Ryan, a lot of season Championship. Christian Nørgaard, natural leader. Justice Silva, just a very promising young prospect. Then Macondes or Matthias, yes, relatively new. Ollie, third season in the Championship. Said, second season. Brian is new. So I think we are okay, but I agree with you. We don't have massive experience to play year after year for promotion. But I think the hunger, the desire, and the togetherness help us.
You've already touched upon how tough the game will be. It's impossible to say, I suppose, but can you imagine what sort of mentality the Wigan players must have at the moment, given how unsettling a week it's been?
I'm very glad for that question, because I think it's I always think it's very, very sad when a club going to administration. We faced Bolton, I think it was last year, and I always think about that club's fans, the people who work in the club, the players, the staff, it is going to affect so many people, and we know football is for the people. And on the flip, and another thing is Paul Cook and his coaching staff. They've done an unbelievable job. You know, in the fall they struggled, and in 2020 they're potentially the best side in the division in terms of points and performances. And we all know the stats and 7 clean sheets and all that. But when I look at the games and how they do things, and when I speak to Paul Cook when we meet them, they've just done an unbelievable job. And then to get this in, you know, a slap to your face, I think that's a tough one to take. But if you look at the mentality in that team and how difficult they are to break down, I'm 100% sure this would just give them even more desire, even more determination to do well. Yeah, I feel for them. I really, of course, I can't give them anything on Saturday, but I really, really, really wish them all the best. They deserve to survive in this championship.
Do you have any fears or concerns that this Wigan story is going to become an all too familiar story over the next year, the next couple of years, given the financial state that clubs find themselves in?
Yeah, without being, how can you say, try to clever me too much on the economic or the financial aspect of the football leagues. Of course, I hear stories and I read the newspapers, so I know that from that some clubs are struggling, and I really hope that all the clubs are coming through this, or people are willing to help. I don't know if that's the EFL, the Premier League, or who else. There's something else. There's somebody else than me that needs to decide that or help that. But we need to be aware of this, because it's not good when too many clubs are struggling.
And just one final question from me. If you are in the Premier League next season, you'll be subject to VAR. I don't know if you watched the Sheffield United Spurs game yesterday, but there was one goal disallowed, which, when you watch the replay, seemed a particularly ridiculous decision. And it's more to do with the handball law, the way it is, than the actual VAR itself. So your opinion on the handball law and whether that needs to change?
I think in general, people have been asking me about VAR before. I think it's a system that will stay. We will use it in the many next years going forward. So there's no reason to discuss that too much. But what we could discuss, as you said, is how can we together, all of us, find the best laws or the best way to use the system, because I saw the first half and I saw the incident, and according to the law, it cannot be a goal. So I understand that, but I also understand why people are frustrated, because it should have been a goal in terms of normal football law. So it's a tricky one. Maybe they need to come around it in another way. I think definitely they will. The guys who is looking at how the law should be. We just need to remember there was a reason why they did it very harsh, because there was too many situations before that was in between handball, no handball, and all that. That's why they changed the law of handball this year. So I think it's extremely tricky. I think no matter what you decide, there will always be situations where we think it should be going the other way.
Hi Thomas, it's Phil here.
Hi Phil.
You mentioned one of the players you mentioned just before when you were talking to James, Emiliano Marcondes, has been on fire since the resumption. He arrived at the club, I think, with a bit of an injury when he first came. How important was that loan spell he had at the beginning of this season away from Griffin Park, just to get some football into his legs?
I think it was important. I think he was first and foremost very unlucky or unfortunate in terms of injuries his first couple of seasons here, and because of that he lacked that, as you said, minutes to get up and going, because you can just see even he got quite a few starts and opportunities in the pre-season, and also actually played some few games in the beginning of the season. He didn't have that extra level which he got now. So definitely they help to play 10 or 12 games, I think, more or less, full-time games at Midtjylland that help him to get up to speed, and get another confidence, and also understand his role more and more. And now he's growing more and more into the team, and he's a very important player for us.
And you sort of alluded to the form that Wigan have been in, magnificent really this actual calendar year. Games still to come, lots of games to come, and against teams that have something to play for. Does that at all make a difference if the sides that you're playing have got something to play for? Obviously Charlton and Derby to come in the next 8 days.
I think when teams have something to play for, of course there is that extra focus, extra determination, or extra willingness to run the hard yards, in terms of especially when you need to sprint back under the ball. That means something. Of course it does. The other bit is that when teams maybe in the middle of the table don't have that much to play for, they're still pros. They still want to compete. They play football. A lot of them, they just hate to lose. So when they walk into that pitch, they will do everything to win. But of course, I think that there could be that extra bit that could mean something. So yeah, we know, and I'm not looking too far ahead, but just know on Saturday there'll be another tough game. It's no difference, and after that there'll be another tough game. We just need to prepare well, and we know. Look at ourselves. We know we're in a very good place. We know we're confident, and we know if you hit a high level, we're very, very difficult to beat. No matter who we are playing against, but we respect all teams, and when we know if we're not on it, we can lose, and we are going to try to score against a team who haven't conceded in 7 games, which is remarkable in the Championship.
But the goals, you talk about that, the goals for Brentford since the resumption have come from a variety of players. There's not an over-reliance on one individual. A lot of your players who are the offensive-minded players have already chipped in with goals. So from a coaching point of view, that must be great to see.
Yeah, fantastic. And I said to the players after the Reading game, it was nice after the first 3 games that the BMW is up and running. So all of them got a goal each. We know that's important for the confidence. But also that Josh got a goal, Emiliano got a goal, Joel, I was so pleased because he's been working so hard, and I can't praise him enough for being a top pro, and been going through a lot this season to get his minutes. So no, it's important that we have different players that can chip in with goals. Definitely, we know the front 3 get all the praise and all the attention, but we know there's other teams that can score.
I know there's no fans. So therefore it is different. But are the players still aware that this is an end of an era at Griffin Park, even though the fans aren't there to remind them? These games now counting down, it's the last few opportunities for some, as you say, some players who've been with the club a long time, to actually play at that ground, whatever its little quirks may be.
Yeah, definitely. They love to play there. It's our home. Yeah, it's a privilege, and even the fans, of course, we miss the fans massively. But we are playing there tomorrow. We're looking forward to it. We know it. We know we're good at home. Of course, even better with fans. But yeah, so it is a little. It's, how can you say, strange, or we know it's end of era. I think that's the right way to describe it.
And just finally for me, in regards to the way this second part of the season is now running, obviously you look and assess your team and you know how your squad are performing. Do you get a sense though that as the games have started to develop, that as a whole squads are getting fitter, more confident with the strange circumstances, the games are getting more intense, the games are getting more physical? Is that something that you've noticed?
That we are getting fitter, or the games are getting more intense, or?
Well, both. That the fitness levels are really starting to sharpen up, and that the intensity of the games, not just from the Bees' point of view, but from the opponent's point of view. Do you get that sense that you're really starting to hit that sort of, almost full game fitness now?
Yeah, definitely. because it was a strange pre-season, not the normal way, and less friendlies before. So I said that it's not only to praise my performance team or my medical staff, or definitely the players, but they are in a really good place, and we are looking really sharp and fit, and I honestly believe that we are only getting stronger. For every minute we are playing, we are only getting stronger. So they need to remind themselves about that.
Lovely, thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, that's the end of the broadcast. Justin, do you want to start the written section?
Yeah, hello. Hi, Thomas. How are you?
Hi, Justin.
All good. Thomas, as you know, seeing what is happening with Wigan and the warning that several clubs are going to be in huge trouble in the coming weeks, maybe months, do you think the Premier League and the FA need to step in and do something to rescue the future of English football outside the top division?
I think we need to be very cautious about that, and I think clubs are, I don't know, of course, but like with other companies around the world, because it's a worldwide crisis with this COVID-19, are struggling, and the bigger partners like EFL or Premier League or other can help, the better, I think. But I think there's many not information, so there's many aspects in this, because are some of the clubs badly run before the corona crisis? Do they then need extra help because they've done badly over many years because of badly? Yeah, I think it's very difficult to take a decision on that. But one thing is for sure, that we need to help each other, because we need each other to make a competitive league in League 2, League 1, Championship, Premier League in this country. So we need to be aware of that. It cannot be only survival of the fittest. It needs to be a broader perspective. That's definitely something I think we need to be aware of.
And I think the other point is as well, you know, obviously EFL clubs have been very helpful to the Premier League in terms of all the young players that come through. I mean, a lot of the England team have played in all three divisions of the EFL. Yeah,
definitely. That's why I think there's a food chain where we need to be aware of. And I think the Premier League clubs, they know that, and they know they need the Championship and need League 1 and League 2. So I think everybody's aware of that, and everybody should, in a way, chip in or agree that we are depending on each other.
I mean, obviously Brentford is a great example of a model that has worked. You know, the club has been self-sustaining for many years. Do you think there needs to be a resetting and a following of the sort of model that you guys are following, you know, and making it more sustainable? I mean, the Championship is losing money year after year, and it just feels unsustainable.
Yeah, but it's a tricky one. I think football is a strange business, very strange business. But I definitely think the more people can make it sustainable in years, and try not to, classic one, not overspend, which is difficult. I think that, of course, that's I think that's the road to success. That you try to create something that can last for long. But in football, you don't know about tomorrow, so it's a very tricky one. But I think the more we can do to maybe set some either restriction or whatever to help everybody to try to build something, I think that's more healthy for the football environment.
And just finally, Thomas, obviously in great form at the moment. Obviously, you're trying to chase that automatic spot. I know it's going to be tough, obviously, because West Brom and Leeds, obviously, are good sides. If you do fall short, but you still carry on this form, do you feel that that's good momentum for the playoffs? I mean, in the past, some teams that just miss out at the end after good form end up going a little bit flat when they get to the playoffs.
Ask me about that in 6 games time. Now I just want to focus on tomorrow game against Wigan. That's the thing we've been doing well. We cannot look too far ahead, because after we won, hopefully win on Saturday, we need to prepare for the next one. and if we, then we need to prepare for it anyway. So things changed and all the time. So we just need to stay so extremely focused. It's not about yesterday, it's about now.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Thomas. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Hi, Thomas, Malik here. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
Good stuff, thank you. So to start, looking back at this week in kind of microcosm, we had after the Reading game, the gap's down to 2 points. Fans are on a high, automatic promotions in touching distance almost, and then West Brom come out and look better than they have since the restart. The gap opens up again. From a fan's perspective, it's already turned into a bit of a roller coaster. How do you control those emotions among the players and yourself?
I think the good thing is that there's a big difference between the fans' emotions and our emotions inside the team. We were pleased, not overexcited after the win against Reading. It was well done, job done, on to the next one. Because we're knowing they're coming so fast. Of course, there, I think that's very honest. I think a lot of us checked the result Wednesday night to see how it would go. Did we hope that West Brom would lose points? Yes. Did we expect it? Not really. So prepare for what we can do, focus on the next game, win that hopefully, and then check the result on West Brom again.
We've been talking about the games coming thick and fast pretty much every time we've spoken to you since the break, but actually it's only really from now, isn't it, that it really kind of gets going. With that in mind, you keep talking about wanting the team to be more clinical in the second half of games, in particular, putting games to bed early. For example, on Tuesday, if you could have got that third goal a bit earlier, is that going to be important moving forward to give players a rest in the second half of games as well?
Yeah, if possible. It's very rarely that you could be that fortunate that you're on top with 3 goals, especially in the championship. I think we'll do everything we can to win the game, and can we after that try to do it as quickly as possible so we can rest some players? Maybe, but no matter what, sometimes it's not only to rest. We also try to win the game by getting fresh players on the pitch, like against Fulham and again West Brom again. I think that both games subs changed the game.
And lastly from me, I mean, the table at the end of the season will ultimately tell who's been the best across the course of the season. But right now, do you feel like you're managing the best team in the championship at this particular moment?
That's a good question. I think we look good, and I think we look strong, and I think we look confident. But that is, circled around that attitude I'm constantly talking about, confident but humble. We need to put a lot of hard work into this, but we know we are in a good place. But if we just lose focus a bit or lack a little bit of hard work, then we will struggle.
Cheers. Thanks very much, Thomas. Best of luck for the weekend.
Thank you. That's it. So, Hector.
Hello, Thomas. It's Lyle. Can I ask you something just at the end there? How you doing?
Yeah,
you okay?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, good, thanks. Good, thanks. I just want to ask you a little bit more about Joel Valencia. Obviously, he came on and scored the other day, and you touched on him having had a tough season. Can you go into a little bit more detail about how tough he's had it? Because, I mean, how much of it has been the unfortunate circumstances of the BMW having to break into that front three for him, or has he had to do more? Has he fallen short of perhaps what you expected when he came in?
I think mostly true that it's always, we know when you're coming to the championship, it always take a little bit time to adapt to it. Some are doing quicker than others, but most likely the most players need a couple of months at least to adapt to the speed and the tempo also of our training. So he came into a totally different training environment, the way we train, and he struggled to keep up the pace the first couple of months. But a big effort every single day, top pro, did everything, and we spoke a lot with him, so he was aware. And then after 2 months, he just looked better and better and better. And funny enough, he finally started against Wigan, and he looked better and better when he came on off the bench. Before that, started against Wigan, did well. We won 3-0, and then he was subbed off with an injury to his, I think it was a collarbone, and was out for 6 weeks. And then he needed to be built again. And when he came back, he just lacked that little sharpness. And then he's finally got a little bit back to it. And then the Corona break, and so he had a lot of setbacks. Plus, of course, the BMW have been amazing. So it's been difficult to break into that. So. But he's just all the way through just been working unbelievable hard, and is top player for the group, and I think his time will come.
So are you excited then that you've got him available to make an impact in this run-in, obviously coming into some good form? And also, what about his long-term future at Brentford? Do you still think he has a strong long-term future at Brentford?
Yeah. I believe in all the players in my squad. And sometimes it's different circumstances that make the difference, or that make that they get that breakthrough. So yeah, I believe you have a long-term future here.
Thanks, Thomas.
You're welcome.
Okay, just quick, James, do you have anything you want to say? Everyone else? James?
Hello, can you hear me, Thomas? Hope you're doing well.
Yes.
Just going back to fitness, when we spoke a few weeks ago, you said that it wouldn't necessarily be in the first game that the players felt it, but perhaps in subsequent games, such as the ones you played recently and coming up against Wigan. And also, a piece recently came out about Exeter City and some data from there, which said that key stats such as sprints, ball recoveries were down by up to 10 to 15%. And I was wondering, had you seen in sort of your data and analytics a similar drop-off, or were the standards still high in terms of stats like that?
Our stats is bang on the same. Actually, some of our games been 103% in terms of distance, and 106% in terms of HMLDs, who is that axles, decels, sprints, high intense runs. So now we've been in a top place, and that fits what I see with my eyes, and so at the top job from the performance department.
And sort of as we approach the final month of the season, do you allow yourself to look at other teams' results, or is it very much a focus on the team first and then checking results later as and when they come in?
Let me put it this way: we focus on our own game, everything we can, and after we hopefully win that game, and then of course I check the results when we come in afterwards.
Perfect. Thank you. That's all from me. Good luck.